Today, we're talking about May's strong job growth, Supreme Court Justices' financial disclosures, a roundup of major sports headlines, and other top news for Monday, June 10th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour over today. Here's the verse of the day. He has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of anything we have done, but because of His own purpose and grace. This grace was given us in Christ Jesus before the beginning of time. 2 Timothy 1:9. Let's get started with some espresso shots. Employers just keep on hiring. U.S. employers added 272,000 new jobs in May, far exceeding the expectations of people who enjoy trying to predict these things a few days early, aka economists. Most of the added jobs were in healthcare, 68,000, government, 43,000, and leisure and hospitality, 42,000. Average hourly pay rose 0.4% month over month and 4.1% year over year. Unfortunately, new jobs and wages weren't the only thing that was up. Unemployment rose from 3.9% to 4%, ending its historic 27-month streak under 4%. News of the unexpectedly strong job and wage growth dampened hopes of the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates this summer. Most investors still expect 1, maybe 2 rate cuts, which would bring down the cost of mortgages, car loans, and other debt this year. Our hope is never contingent on an economic outcome. It's much more secure than that. Regardless of whether things get worse or better during your lifetime, everything eventually ends well for followers of Christ. 1 Peter 1:3, 4, and 6 says, "Because of His great mercy, He has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you. You rejoice in this, even though now for a short time, if necessary, you suffer grief in various trials." New SCOTUS financial disclosures are offering a peek into justices' wallets. It turns out the big bucks are in books. According to ethics codes, justices' earnings are limited to their salaries around $300K and book sales, and they're securing book advances up to $900K. Lavish gifts were also noted. Justice Thompson revised his 2019 disclosure to include 2 luxury trips on the dime of a wealthy friend and GOP donor, while Justice Jackson disclosed receiving thousands of dollars in artwork and Beyoncé tickets. Meanwhile, the court still has lots to do before breaking for summer. On the decision docket, 3 cases affecting former President Trump, 2 on abortion, 2 on guns, 3 on free speech and social media, and 3 on the power of government agencies. Decisions are expected by late June or early July. Whether justices are above or below reproach, we can count on perfect justice and inexhaustible mercy from the courts of heaven. The Lord is not swayed by the power and wealth that tempt us toward partiality, and His verdicts restore what sin has broken. Deuteronomy 32:4 says, "The rock, His work is perfect. All His ways are just. A faithful God, without bias, He is righteous and true." We'll start with a shocking upset in a sport we don't cover much, have never covered, cricket. Team USA's part-time cricket team beat powerhouse Pakistan in the T20 World Cup. Cricket enthusiasts hope the win, likened to an MLB team losing to a minor league squad, will finally bring American attention to the world's second most popular sport. In WNBA news, Caitlin Clark will reportedly not be representing the U.S. in the Paris Olympics this summer, a surprise given her star power. Finally, the puck dropped on the Stanley Cup playoffs Saturday night, and the Florida Panthers dominated the Edmonton Oilers with a resounding 3-0 win. Edmonton hopes to become the first Canadian team to bring home the cup since 1993, while Florida still seeks its first championship after losing in the finals last year. Here's a verse to consider whether your sport is cricket, basketball, hockey, or Quidditch. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. The Every Woman's Bible is a study Bible for the heart and mind. Engaging study notes and devotionals address topics relevant to women in cultural, historical, and literary clarity and context to gain greater understanding. Over 100 Every Woman's Bible scholars, writers, and contributors, all women from around the world, invite you into a global community. Begin your journey today at everywomansbible.com. Tyndale's best-selling Every Man's Bible is also available. In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Migrant arrests at the U.S.-Mexican border dropped to 3,100 on Friday, down roughly 20% from days before. It's a sign of some possible early success for President Biden's controversial new executive order, which bars migrants who enter the country illegally from claiming asylum, with some exceptions, and expedites their deportation. The policy has faced criticism from both sides. Steve Bannon has been ordered to begin serving his 4-month prison sentence by July 1st. Bannon, a longtime advisor to former President Trump, was convicted in 2022 for refusing to comply with a congressional subpoena. He recently lost an initial appeal, prompting the judge to revoke his bail, but has promised to keep fighting all the way to the Supreme Court. Uncle Sam may get his jewels back. The FDA has reserved its marketing ban on Juul e-cigarettes 2 years after ordering the company to stop selling products. Juuls have remained on shelves pending an appeal. The vapor hasn't completely cleared. Juul faces other regulatory hurdles and continues to settle lawsuits alleging it marketed nicotine products to minors. A woman and 2 teenagers were injured in back-to-back shark attacks on the Florida Panhandle Friday afternoon. The attacks happened less than 5 miles apart along the popular 30A stretch of beaches, prompting water closures. One teen sustained a minor foot injury, but the woman, another teen, who lost her hand and part of her leg, remain hospitalized. The Israeli Defense Force rescued 4 hostages last week in a high-risk complex mission near a refugee camp in central Gaza. The hostages are in good health and have reunited with their families. The U.S. provided intelligence but didn't participate in the hostage raid, which quickly turned into an intense battle. There were between 70 to 210 casualties. Reports conflict. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Wednesday.